Do you ever have to do anything, and instead of actually doing it, you just kind of get lost in a deep dive on YouTube? I do that a lot. That was very specific. I procrastinate. That's what I'm saying. Shh. Okay. And weirdly low frames. Again. So much to do in the background. Wait, what? Is this because I tabbed out? Oh, okay. What the hell is that? Disable VSync? Really? I don't know if you're lying to me, person in the megaphone. Apparently, if you just like turn VSync back on, the frame drops are fine again. Wait, why is my vertical sync enabled? It shouldn't be. No, get off. That's weird. And I was meant to do a video yesterday where I went through all of Lily's new skills, all of her revamped skills. Well, pretty much just her entirely, because like I'm pretty sure like every single skill has been changed in Revamped somehow. Even though well, maybe there's just like one or two that just got like a damage buff. But something happened. What happened? I forgot. I forget what happens day by day. Whenever I have a day that's not productive, I kind of just erase it from my mind. Which is not good, because it means I never have the motivation. Like when you say to yourself, like, I didn't do anything yesterday, so today I'll have like a good day and make up for it. No, I never do that, because I always kind of forget. But yes, something happened, and I just think I wasn't feeling well. Was I just not feeling well? Yeah, I just didn't think I was well. I think it was about 2 in the afternoon, and I felt like going to bed. Like, what? Why? No energy at all. And to be fair, I'm kind of on the same path today. So I thought, may as well do something and distract myself before I do just fall asleep again. It's not good. It's not great. Actually, disabling vertical sync has actually helped my frame rate a lot. Normally there are all sorts of drops, but it's fine now. That's a tip. If you're having trouble in SoulWorker, then disable VSync. Now I need to murder this boss before I do anything and tab out. Consider yourself murdered. Okay. English weather. I swear it was raining 2 minutes ago. Now the sun's out. I don't get it. It's more indecisive than I am. So, I decided, rather than just kind of sitting around in a dungeon at the end and just going through the skills one by one, I'm going to do it whilst I go through a dungeon. And go through multiple dungeons, because leveling is taking a long time. Not that fun. So, Let me see. What should I... You know, I'll start off with the first skill. Diablo Spin. I've never liked... I don't know. Like, calling a skill by its name... Like... Never been a fan of it. Like, there are some games where you kind of have to. Okay, to be fair, I guess this is kind of one of those games. But people do it in tons of other games where you really don't need to, where everything's kind of bound automatically and you can't really change it. They refer to the skills as their names, and everyone goes, what's that? And then they just actually write down the notation for how to perform the skill, and they go, oh yeah, I know that one. Like, I don't get it. So, Diablo Spin. This one's simple. This one just got a damage buff. But, obviously, the new advance, kind of soul plus, whatever they can call it. Skill. Yeah. Pretty much increase in damage, kinda. Is it an increase in damage, this one? Yeah, increase in damage and increase in range. It's not really a big deal, this one. To be fair, I would recommend getting it now. Mostly just because the range is huge and it can replace like 2 or 3 of your other like clearing skills. And also, really, really low cooldown. It's really fast. So I think 10-second cooldown without any sort of cooldown reduction, which that's kind of typical. You shouldn't be getting cooldown reduction in this game, unless it's like by accident. So, next, I don't actually have this one anywhere. Death Twister? No, you know what? I'm not even going to go over it. Just don't get it. Same for this Scythe Strike. Try saying that 5 times fast. Yeah, don't get it. Like, it's more of like a PvP skill, but if you play this game for serious PvP, you're doing it wrong. You shouldn't be playing this game for PvP. Like, go play something else for PvP, not this. Like, there are a million other options. Don't do it. So after those boring things, we get into the interesting stuff, which is the Angel of Death skill, which is one of my favorites. Restores health when you've got the Soul Plus, which you should have anyway. But it used to, the Soul Plus to it, the add-on, whatever the hell you want to call it, used to reduce the damage by quite a large amount in return for healing you a certain percentage of the damage you cause. But ever since the revamp, it no longer reduces the damage. I'm pretty sure it's still leveled the same way, in terms of every level you get into the Soul Plus gives you like additional percentage healing, up to 65% I believe. But now there is no damage reduction. You can hit crazy high numbers with this. Yeah, I hit like 130k then. I know, like, it's going to be different for everybody depending on stats, but that's, like, crazy. It used to be, like, 60k. Like, the damage has pretty much doubled. I love it. And that being said, because the damage is higher on it, you can heal a lot more, and a lot more consistently. Before, you had to kind of crit, otherwise the heal you got was terrible. But now, not anymore. It's pretty much nearly always a heal from, like, 0 to max health, unless you do miss. Missing sucks. So there's that. So, you know what, next one I'm going to have to kind of just stand still for a second and go over it. Terror Chain, I haven't gotten this yet. I'm still considering getting it, but I'm not quite sure at the moment. The only real benefit I can see to this skill anymore is that it does just kind of pull mobs and enemies together, but it can also pull together anything which has super armor, which is decent. Usually you can't move those guys around for anything, so you can gather together super armored mobs. But that's about it. I think it got a damage upgrade. Not really a big deal, just high percentages. I'm not even looking. I haven't even got like the patch notes, like the kind of change logs from the other servers. I haven't even got that up. I'm just kind of trying to remember off the top of my head. Death Throw, after the advancement, I would recommend just cut this skill out. The first Diablo Spin does this and better. It does the exact same job. It's not really that great. Damage is kind of terrible. Just don't get it. no problem. I don't think it even got changed. Maybe slight damage increase, maybe? I don't know. Not a big fan. Not really worth it. Like, it can be great if you don't have advancement, but then as soon as you get your advancement, then that's it. It's useless. So you may as well just kind of build from the start rather than wasting like your skill resets, because they're kind of expensive in this game. Kind of crazy expensive and difficult to come by. Okay, so one of my favorite additions now, next, which is something that I love, part of the advancement. Culling Blade got a big damage buff. I believe a decent damage buff with super armor buffs. The regular version, I forgot I changed my skills around, but the advancement version, pretty much the exact same, except for the additional hit is now kind of super buffed by the Reaper. Just basically a lot more range on the additional hit and a lot more damage on it as well. But because of the other advancement skills, and the level up on the Soul Plus, whatever, friggin' hell, in short, you can do more damage with it now. You can do a lot more damage with it now. And the super armor break on it is absolutely ridiculous, which is actually great. Loving that. But let me see. Wait until the freaking cooldown comes back up again here. Wait. Nope. It's already up. So the range on it is pretty much massive. There, you get a lot more range with the whole Reaper, whatever it is, doing his all additional attack, and a lot more kind of damage from it as well. Which, I'm loving that, but overall, more damage, advancement gives more range. That's pretty much all you really have to think about. Oh, and super armor break. Gives way more super armor break. So, next skill, Carnage. This skill changed a lot. You're still going to want to get the same add-on. I say the same add-on. Before, it was always a choice between either a crit rate or it was defense penetration. But now they've changed that to armor break instead. Extra armor break, even though they haven't changed the description, the tooltip. Lovely. So, the crit rate is still useless. You're going to have to get the super armor one, even though it's changed. It's not as good as it used to be, like the add-on, but it's still pretty damn decent. And they've also changed the way the skill works. Let me see, where have I got this set to? Let me see, it's... Use this really quickly. Yeah, now it's a lot faster, has more range, and you get more hits out of it. So it's a lot more kind of useful for general things rather than just using it for the buff and then forgetting it. Like, you can kind of use it in a lot more different situations now. The range increase is so good, so amazing. You see, Reaper's Call. The air attack, pretty much the same. Like, no real difference. Maybe, like, damage or super armor increase. But for all purposes, it's the same. Let me see. The crit buff, exactly the same. Wait, is that? Yeah, it's the same. Like, no changes on that. There were a few changes they were bouncing around all over the place. A few things they were considering. But they ended up just leaving it kind of as is. I need another glass of this, because I'm not used to talking this much. I'm used to kind of having a break in between. So, next skill, the Tornado. This is an interesting one, because they've actually changed one of the add-ons for it. I'm pretty sure it's still the same, like in terms of damage and such, because it was already kind of ridiculously strong. But they've changed the second add-on completely. The first, where... Okay, it's still alive. There we go. The first add-on, where it just kind of tracks your enemies around, it's still the same. Like, no changes in damage, no changes in the way it works, that's still the same. But the other one, I can't remember what it did. I think it zigzagged forward in a line or something kind of stupid. It was weird. It wasn't really that great. Now, instead, the tornado expands. There's a little tiny video of it. So it expands in an area and then stays there damaging everything for a while. And anything inside gets an attack speed and a movement speed buff for a little while. Now, I've heard from quite a lot of people that it's still pretty crap. I don't exactly know the damage stats on it, what it says on the skill, on the Soul Plus, it says it does more damage. I don't know. I'm guessing it's actually the exact same, and the way that our... Like, I'm guessing that the first one, the tornado that follows, when it tells you on the tooltip, it's telling you the additional damage, like, added on to the original, whilst the second kind of is just like a whole new damage kind of percentage you get. Because the original and the first total up to, what, 92%? Yeah, 92. And the second one does 92% as well. So my guess is you trade, like, one just has, it just follows things around, the second one just gets a bit bigger. And you get the little tiny buff. So technically, the first one that follows things around is still better for pretty much everything. Like, because the second one having the larger area doesn't really... I don't know, the first one can just carry on moving, it's fine. It can cover a much larger area just from moving around. I was meant to do some more dungeons, wasn't I? So, the first one apparently is still better. I think it's still better, though, if I'm correct, which... I don't want to be egotistical, I probably am, because I know the way that these sorts of tooltips and the way the translations kind of work in patches like this. So I'm guessing that's the way it works. Probably right. I don't know. I don't take responsibility for people fucking up. Whatever, I'm going to leave that alone for now. Tornado, yeah, whatever. Now, probably my favorite kind of, well, I want to say new skill. It's basically new. Deathly Triad. It got a lot faster. It got crazy amounts faster, which is absolutely amazing. They took away the camera on it, if you've got the camera settings kind of turned on, the cinematic camera. But it's stronger, it's faster. I mean, look at the speed of this. It's so much faster. Like, you're no longer like stuck in the animation. And you do have super armor on it, which meant with how long the old skill kind of used to take, you would basically just, it was either use it in the perfect place, or you die for it. Because you can't get smacked around, or you can't dodge out of it, you just die for it, that's it, you die. It sucked. But the new version, it's so much faster. Apparently, it now aerial hits and does the damage increase like it was meant to before it never used to. So much damage. But it's just how fast it is. It's so much easier to use. So much easier. It didn't get anything new in terms of the advancement. That's fine. It was already ridiculous. No problem. You know what? Even though that's probably my favorite new like revamp skill, the Guillotine got fixed. Now, the problem with this skill is that it used to... Now, hear me out. It used to lag, right? The skill used to lag. Like, the Guillotine would come down, you know, like, the chains would pull everything in, the Guillotine would come down. But everything being pulled in would... Like, the chains would pull, and everything would be still for about a second, and then they'd move. And as same, when the Guillotine came down, everything would just kind of stand there like, huh? And then the damage would happen. Whereas now, as I just demonstrated, the pull is instant, the damage is instant. It's great, they fixed it finally, because they broke it in some kind of update. I don't know when, and it got really kind of fucky. Wasn't a fan of that. I get too distracted. The skills are so good now. Yeah, but it was a really kind of fucky sort of skill. Half the time, because of the way that the damage on the Guillotine kind of lagged behind and took like a second to register, most often, things would move out of the way, and then the damage would register on that spot, and by the time that happens, they've already moved, so they just wouldn't get hit. It would miss so often just because of that one reason, which was easily the most frustrating thing, because this was our like highest damage skill. Now, speaking of damage on it, it got a massive damage buff, huge damage buff. So, let me see, the ratios on it now? Yeah, like 2,900% damage. It's crazy. This thing kills everything. Close to everything. But it works properly now, does a lot more damage. Love it. Again, I love everything. This is probably one of my favorite revamps. I want to call it a revamp, but it's not really. It's kind of like 3 revamps and advancement all together in one. Like, as we're catching up to the other servers. Which I'm fine with too. Give us like 4 updates for the same character all in one. I'm fine. My progression for this place is still absolutely terrible. And I've only done it, what, like twice? Yeah, not good. Have I missed anything? No, okay, on to new skills. Now, we did get a new aerial skill with the advancement, which, it's kind of slow, but it does a decent amount of damage. Like, the only time I'll ever really use it is when every other kind of big skill is on cooldown. Because it does kind of leave you locked in place for a second. And you can dodge out of it in midair, but you do cancel some of the damage. But I guess you can dodge to attacks, so you can cancel it. It's not a big deal. Now, in terms of comparing it towards the original aerial attack, aerial skill, whatever you want to call it, it's a lot slower. I think it does more damage overall, does it? Yeah, it does more damage overall. Less armor break, but the original is far faster. Like, far, far faster. Although it does have a smaller hitbox. But it is what it is. They both have different uses. Which brings us on to the last new skill. Which is kind of... Wait, no. Kind of. Almost. It's last new advancement skill. Like, as skills go. Which I will show in a minute. Which it's kind of... It's a bit crazy to control. You'll see. You're probably going to know it. So it's called, I believe, Reign of Rage. So Lily goes into like a different stance for a few seconds. Pardon me. And whilst you're in the stance, you can press your left mouse button to do just a basic slash attack, and the right mouse button to do a huge dash forwards. And you can do that either or, kind of just mash them both, combo them together for a few seconds before like the Lily and the Reaper do one kind of final big cross slash attack. Now the damage for this is kind of crazy. If you do nothing but the left click slash attacks, you can put out a lot of damage. Although at the moment, with the level I am, it doesn't last very long. I'm not sure if it gets longer as you level it, so you can do more attacks. I'm hoping it does, because on other servers I've seen it longer. I don't know what the status of this is. I have no idea. But at the moment, because it does take so much time, it's best done on bosses that have their super armor broken. Because you can kind of throw out a ton of damage while still kind of staying safe. I'm not like a big fan of using it. Like, it's not really like a mobbing sort of skill. Like, nah, it pumps out too much damage at once with not that much AoE. You kind of stay stationary for the slashes. And if you want to move around, you sacrifice some of the damage. So, like I said, it is best done on bosses that have their super armor broken. And if you do it on those and you hit everything, the damage is kind of crazy. Mine's not even maxed out yet. I have 2 levels to go on it, which is why I'm leveling right now. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what the final result's going to be. I could barely breathe anymore. Throat. I am very slowly getting used to kind of the new Lily and using all of her skills properly. Although there are times where I do kind of forget that some of these skills are buffed now, because they still use the same old icon when you've got them on your kind of skill bar. Which I wish they used like the... I want like the advancement icon. I wish it used that, because it looks flashier. They just look a lot nicer, and then you can kind of tell, oh, it's like a different sort of skill. But no, they still use the original ones, so I'm often forgetting they even have different effects now. Now the last, see, I kind of want to call it like a skill. It can only be done when you're in Supernova, and it can only be done once per Supernova. But it makes you completely invincible for the duration. Does, I think it's 5 attacks in front of you, first of all, followed by, I don't even know how many hits, 1 final big slash. Now, the range of this is really decent. It has a lot of damage. Let me see. How much damage does this thing do? Yeah, it's pretty much just a second Guillotine, except I believe it has more... Yep, it's basically just a second Guillotine. It's a second, much slower Guillotine, and you're invulnerable completely the entire time. But the only downside is you can only do it once in a Supernova. So to do it again, what am I doing? I'm like getting completely lost in level. To do it again in the same level, you have to come out of Supernova and then go back in. You cannot do it in just the regular 30-second Hysteria. Unfortunately, you do need the full 2 bars. I just used it on basically nothing, didn't I? Yep. You know what? I may as well just... Yeah, so you take a lot of damage just from standing still for so long in that skill. So I don't really recommend it on bosses that are still moving around and attacking actively. But overall, I'm pretty much loving it. The only thing I haven't covered yet is the new passive, which this is a bit of a weird one because the translation is not that great. Like, I don't think the person who translated this speaks native English, because even though it technically makes sense, it's just like, why would you say it like that? It's not quite right. Casually slurping. But to break it down, you get a huge buff, which has a minute cooldown. Like, I believe so, with how they say it. Wait, no, what am I doing? This is not the right NPC. So, I'll go over the buff stats. In fact, I'll go over the max level stats, actually. So, at max level, which I'm going to get at level 59, you get, when the buff is active, 2000 crit damage, 20% bonus armor break, and you save 15% soul force. And the way that this buff is activated is that it will just automatically activate at any time. I think it lasts for 15 seconds. Yep, 15 seconds. And it activates anytime it's off cooldown as long as you're over 70% soul force. So the only awkward thing about it is that it automatically activates itself at the start of every single level, no matter what. Because obviously it's off cooldown and you're 100% soul force, so you're over the 70% requirement. What did I come here for? I forgot what I... Repair. So it's a bit awkward because that means that, like, for the first enemies you fight in, like, Golden Citadel and Primal, like, it's already gone. Like, you've used it up just watching cutscenes and such, and running around. And, wait, that's the bank, not the repair. So it's not... The way it's activated is weird. But the buff it gives is absolutely huge. Pardon me. The way you can identify that the buff is active is that Lily will have these black wings on her back, which look really cool. But that's what lets you know that you are basically, like, supercharged and go ahead, like, go crazy, spam skills. Do a ton more damage. But I'll show you them now at the start of the level. Oh god, my gear is terrible. You don't want to see that. You don't want to see it. It's not good. I kind of took a lot of breaks because I got depressed. I didn't play. And even when I did play, I didn't actually work on gear. I just kind of got soul stones and did nothing, and progression farming. Lots and lots of progression farming. And wasting all my money. What was I meant to be showing? Oh yeah, the wings! Well, too bad now, they're gone already. Whoops. maybe they'll come back in a second. So, my gear is kind of terrible. It's the full Vicarious armor set, and pretty much everything from the Ruined Fortress. Like, I am geared as if the game is, like, only just come out. Like, this is the best gear you can get when the game come out, and it's been months and months and months. So, I've got the full Vicarious set. Like, not even that good rolls on everything. It's just kind of average, like, maybe some attack. I think the chest, I've got some HP on because having 20,000 and dying everywhere, it sucks. But that's all +5. My weapon is actually not that bad. Like, I like my weapon. It's +8, but the speed, crit, and then extra damage on bosses, or named enemies, they call it. Like, I like that extra, the extra damage to bosses. Like, I think it's underrated. But I've still got, like, the really basic, like, accessories. Really quickly. Nope. Still not active again. Yeah, but kind of basic accessories. As long as they had, like, something on them that was kind of half decent, I was like, that'll work. So maybe, like low crit rolls and a little bit of attack speed. Nothing major. Kind of boring. Soul Stones, I've got a level 8 and a level 6 Solace in my weapon. And that's it. Everything else is, like, pretty much empty. Yep, empty. Oh, that's got some crappy Solace in it, but empty. Here are the wings you get from the buff. So it automatically activates itself whenever you're over 70% soul force. A minute cooldown, and it lasts for 15 seconds. And you get some... Yep, oh, they're gone. I was going to show you the buffs, but they're gone. So now I've got to wait for another 45 seconds for them to come back. So it's a bit... you can't really time it properly. You just have to kind of get lucky with your skill rotations. That you're doing all your big skills when it's activated. But it does help. It does help a lot. I mean, hell, it's a big buff. But the soul force usage reduction is probably my favorite thing about it. Although it's all great. It's all really great. I think the only thing I haven't covered is the normal attacks. Which I think they did get a buff anyway. I think they did. So they're slightly stronger or slightly faster or something. They still feel the same speed, to be fair. But probably the biggest deal and what makes it like have my favorite normal attacks in the game, I had to think then for a second, is that the final hits, you use the new whatever it is weapon, so they have massively increased range, like huge range on them. Like none of the other like combos have the range, it's just the basic like hold the left click one. But it's amazing and I love it. Having huge range is always amazing anyway, like a huge AoE on your normal attacks. No one else has that. But everything else is still terrible. I think this, yep, this is terrible. This is still terrible. Like, you wouldn't really want to use any of those. Hey, look, my buff's back. So now my stats are... somewhat higher. Yeah, they are a decent amount higher. There, and I was able to use these two massive skills without getting below 50% soul force. Where normally you would, so you lose the 5% crit buff. Like, everything just kind of works together really well. It synergizes together. So, New Lily is so much fun because of it. And I think that's everything. How long have I been talking for? Oh, 30 minutes. Wow. Oh, God. See, this is what the reason why... Well, one of the reasons why I just don't talk into a microphone and, like, edit everything later on. Like, things would probably still be... It wouldn't be 30 minutes. Like, it would be, like, 15 minutes or something. I can edit out a lot of me rambling. But... that's a lot of footage to edit. And I'm not that good at editing. I'd be kind of stuck there for, like, a month. Because I procrastinate a lot. And nothing would get done. New Guillotine. Well, buffed Guillotine. So strong. Holy crap, I talked a lot. But luckily, when it comes to upgrading gear now, the new... I want to call it login check. The new kind of attendance rewards are so good. And I'll go over them in a second, actually. Because I think this is probably the biggest update we've gotten in SoulWorker so far in the Western server. To be fair, it's probably the biggest update they've done on any server because we got like 4 updates all at once. Even though most of them were kind of the same sort of thing. So, new attendance. Which, really, it's just not... I'm clicking. Is it broken? Is the attendance... Yeah, it's not gonna... I hear it. Really? It's just not gonna show up? Okay, maybe when I'll go into another dungeon. Maybe when I come out it'll be fixed. Maybe it's because I clicked it when I was in the dungeon or something. But not only have they like made the rewards for staying online, 30 minutes, an hour, and 90 minutes, have they made that reward box a lot better. It's got a lot more things in it now rather than just the regular old kind of crap we got. It's actually got some useful things, useful items. Can I show you any, or have I already used mine today? I think I've used all mine. Yeah, I've been online for quite a while today. Far too long. But they've buffed the regular rewards you could get just for coming online every single day. They've added in some really unique items, actually. Things that I really do love. I'm just doing random dungeons here to level. I don't know, I'm leveling really slowly. But aside from just logging in every single day, they now have like a consecutive bonus reward for 3 days in a row. And after the 3 days, it resets and you can just get it again. Which I believe it's an anti-destruction Akasha card transmitter, so you can get a new card out of it. And then for day 3, 10 respawners, which is massive. Like, you can get so much stuff. That's like 100 extra respawners you can get every month. Like, no one's gonna die that much. Not even me. Oh god, I'm so low level. See, I say low level, I'm like 2 from max. But I'm feeling it. Now, in terms of the content I'm up to, at the moment, my gear is absolutely terrible, and I wasn't sure what to do next, whether to kind of just focus on soul stones so I can carry on grinding, or to get some gear to go to primal eventually, because I've only just started farming the Golden Citadel and Elemental yesterday, which, oh, it's overdue. But you can get a lot of money from there, so like, I think my only problem right now is finding groups to farm with that don't have, like, I don't know, the only groups I seem to find, like, are the ones that they're perfectly fine. Like, we blast through the run really quickly, but then they only last for about 2 runs before it just completely disbands and falls apart, and everyone just logs off. It's either that, or everyone's got about, like, 5,000, like, really low stats, and they die at the first boss, and then you're left there fighting by yourself, and it's like, huh? What? Like, how did you get through the regular one? You got, like, what? Who carried you? And it's not even just like one person in the party, it's like everyone in the party. But then you still, I still do it anyway, because I'm like, we could do this! It'll be great! We'll be fine, I'll carry! But then I can't carry. Like, I'm not strong enough to yet. So that's generally how my runs are going right now, which is why I'm still poor. So at the moment, I'm just going to go through progression, I'm going to farm up, I'm going to level up to 60, so that I'm the strongest I can be. Just because even though it's only 2 levels, the amount of skills that I've got to level up that I use so often, including the passive, it's going to make a massive difference to the damage I do. So once I've kind of done all that, I'm just gonna farm the absolute hell out of the Golden Citadel. Because let's face it, like, yeah, my old glass cannon build, I had 26,000 health, and everyone else has got 50,000. Where's the one enemy alive? Like, I died in like a single hit. If I got hit. That's the key, just don't get hit, it's fine. Yeah, so after that, Golden Citadel on Elemental to just farm as much as I possibly can and get as much money as I can. Buy myself like a decent primal set, because there's no way I'm going to make myself one at this stage, because my RNG is absolutely terrible. It's really terrible. But I was considering either getting myself the primal set or like completing my soul stones. I think, yeah, it's still level 8 and level 6 right now, my weapon. I mean, I could get those up to like both to 9. It would take me like what, like 2 billion or something. But you get so much money from the Citadel if you sell everything that I should be fine. Like, that's not that much if you really think about it. Like a couple days farming maybe. Yeah, my defense is not high. It's not high at all. It's pretty low. Like, there are some people which have, like, 89% damage reduction. I'm at 75%. And it doesn't, like, sound like that much of a difference, but I basically take, like, triple the damage they do. Because of the way everything works. And triple the damage at this health. I think I was in the Citadel yesterday. And I had... Let me see, I got rid of my, whatever it's called, the Marketer card. I put in extra health. I put in a bit of everything. I even switched my titles to ones that would give me extra health and crit rate, kind of like a balance. So I had like 50k, and I'm like, that's it, we can do this, it'll be great. And I got to the last boss, and we're just going through, we're blasting it. And he just charges forward and hits me for 7,000 higher than my maximum health. I dropped in one hit. Everyone just kind of laughed at me, and I could have cried. It sucks to go through an entire level like that. And it wasn't even like we were kind of blasting through, like, it's no problem, like, use like 2 or 3 skills on the boss and it just drops. Like, everything was kind of a struggle, because there was still like 10 bars left on each boss after we finished our full rotations. So we had to kind of dance around for a minute. So after all that, being dropped and killed in a single hit, like, way higher than my max health, that sucked. That really sucked. Yeah, but I'm not planning on going to Primal until I've got the full gear. I'm not gonna... It feels kind of rude to let people carry me through things. I think it's why I held off on, like, the Citadel for so long. Because now when I go in out of the group of 4 of us, I make sure that I am doing more than my fair share of damage to the bosses. For sure. It's a lot easier now that I've got the advancement as well. But before, I don't want to let people carry me. It feels kind of, I don't know, kind of rude. If they're putting in so much effort to get gear and to level up and to do everything they need to do, and I'm just kind of taking advantage of that, it just feels wrong. So I've been kind of holding off on it for quite a while, because I felt kind of ashamed of my low stats. But looking around at the average that people have these days, for the Citadel, I'm pretty above average. And considering I've got the advancement now, I do far more damage than... Well, I think it'll be probably more damage than every other character except for Haru. Well, Lily's not exactly a powerhouse, but she's got the advancement now, so that pretty much makes her automatically better with the passives. So I should be going there a lot more often. I need to just will myself over this, like, block I had to not be carried. See, even now, I'm still, like, leveling myself up so I can, like, help even more and even do my fair share. We'll do way more than my fair share. You know what, it has this whole, like, irony to it. I'm not going to get into it. But leveling at the moment has been crazy slow. Which, it's to be expected. We're missing, like, a lot of our kind of story quests. Yeesh, I know. Don't underestimate the tornado combo. Don't underestimate it. Even though, to be fair, I know how, like, incredibly strong Iris is. But after all the buffs that Lily's received, if you go through the percentages, I think the only thing that was really holding Lily back before was just the Soul Force. And it's kind of awkward. It's not that great until you get to high crit levels because of her crit damage bonuses. Well, it's... See, I think the best part, well, one of the things that does make Lily a lot stronger than most of the characters now... Oh, I'm at the wrong freaking page. Like, she's got a lot more, like, really crazy high percentage skills to, like, spam. But I'm talking about when people are kind of, like, even kind of stats. I don't mean, like, even, but there are some people that have, like, let me see, I've got, like, 8,000 attack. Friggin' hell, what are my stats? Yeah, like, about 8,000. I see, like, people walking around with, like, 5,500 and, like, lower crit rate. Like, naturally, you're going to do more damage than them on any character. Like, any at all. Unless if they're playing Haru, like Awakened Haru, because she's ridiculously strong and she keeps getting buffed. I don't know why she keeps getting buffed, because she's so strong. Well... I'm not so much saying it's just because, like... Well, the way the math kind of works out, see, I'm not thinking now because I'm too busy, just... My brain is bleh, after talking for so long about skills and levels, is that the passive, well, the new passive does a huge ton of extra damage. I think it's, what, like 2,000 extra crit damage? That's a lot. That is an awful lot. Like, considering her crit rate is naturally pretty high anyway, it's a lot of extra damage. Like, there's no way that, like, an unawakened character, like, say, like, Erwin or something, with the exact same stats, like, base, like, equipment, could, like, stand up to her anymore. After the advancement, no, well, after his advancement, probably, yeah, like, way stronger than her. But considering the extra skills and the extra percentage, like, the math just works out. I know that the game is based on gear and stats, but I'm not, like, I'm pretty much just talking about equal gear, like, characters with equal gear. Like, of course, like, a Lily with, like, 3,000 attack is going to be way fucking weaker than, like, a Stella who has, like, 10,000. That, like, stats have got nothing to do with it in that mind. Like, imagine if things were equal. The extra skills and the extra passive, like, bonuses, can't tip it over the edge. Which is kind of, well, bad example, because Haru is way stronger than anyone else anyway, even after the, like, everyone's got their advancements. But, I think for, like, 10 weeks or something, she has been so much further ahead than any other character. Obviously, with the same stats, just because she has the extra skills, she has the extra attacks, she has the extra passives. Like, well, imagine if you use up your main kind of rotation, like, you finish with your big skills, like, say, imagine, like, Jin or something, or Erwin, or any other, most of the characters without advancement, they're running around doing, like, their basic attacks, or their, like, 500% skill attacks. Meanwhile, you're still going with your advancement, like, 2,000s and, like, 3,000s that you've got extra. Plus, they're doing more damage anyway because of the whole passives. It's kind of just like... Oh, yeah, I'm expecting that the balance is going to change, like, massively once everything's out. But it's kind of like this with the way that... Like, any sort of game where a single character gets, like, an advanced... Well, I call advancements in this game, but, like, a class change, a job change, that character is most often, like, stronger than the rest. And it just happened that Haru and Lily have gotten theirs first, so they are kind of at the top of the pack right now. But as soon as everyone else gets theirs and they catch up, like, Lily's gonna drop down way, like, really far, okay? Like, it's gonna go back to kind of the way things are in the servers, where Lily's considered, like, weak as hell. But for now, she's got all this extra stuff, just let us have this for a little bit. Okay, let's take advantage of this. We're not weak for once. And also, we're not reliant on tornado combos constantly. I honestly have no idea of the exact kind of balancing in other servers, because everyone's got different opinions on it, and no one ever tends to take a lot of things into account. It's kind of like this when it comes to balance in most games. It's a bit, I don't know. Playing Vindictus for so long, you hear so many different things and you see so many different things, and a lot of it kind of comes down to opinion. And, like, I'm not going to get too into it. Oh god, how do I say these kinds of things without insulting everybody? I don't know, I should probably just insult people, it's fine. But I first saw it when it comes to the way that people think other characters work without actually having to play them first. Different skill caps affect things a lot, and a lot of the time people don't take skill into account. Like, very often, like, really easy example, really good, like, quick example. My throat is giving out. I have been ill for like 2 or 3 days, it's really giving out now. Yeah, but easy example. Someone plays a really difficult character to play. They struggle with them, but they don't realize they're struggling. They don't realize what they're doing wrong. And the character is weak because of it, because they're not getting much damage out of it. They might not be using their skills properly, they might not be doing things right, they're just not playing the character right. They'll come away with kind of the opinion that the character's weak, the character's terrible. Meanwhile, you could play another character that is normally weak, well, weaker, but is stupidly easy to use, like, you cannot go wrong. So it just appears that they're a lot stronger, by comparison. That's like the most basic example you can give. So someone comes away with like the completely wrong opinion. And it's kind of like that argument, but across a lot of different spectrums. And a lot of the time, these things do evolve and they do change. So a character that might appear weak, it might just turn out that everyone's been playing them wrong the entire time. In fact, really kind of mainstream example, League of Legends. There are characters that go from like below 50% win rates, which is considered quite bad, then someone will just discover something about them, and discover a new build, discover something different, and the win rate will just soar way up. And meanwhile, these characters are like 5, 6 years old, and people are still discovering stuff. Obviously the game's changing, but they're still discovering, they're still finding new things. It's kind of like that for every single game. So you can never quite tell what's strong. Everyone's got their own opinions to throw in, and it just becomes this giant clusterfuck of when, like, no one's actually right. The only way someone can have a clear and perfect view of who is the strongest and how everyone compares is if that person can play every single character absolutely perfectly, not a single error. Like, basically just be a machine. That's the only way you can really compare things. But we're not machines. We fuck up, we make mistakes. We might not even realize we're making mistakes. Like, back in Vindictus days, the amount of people that said to me, like, back before Swordvella's Revamp, that she was weak as hell, and terrible, and all these other things, and I'm like, no, you're just playing her wrong. She's actually really strong. But, like, it just gets messy. It gets really, really messy. Hell, I might have been playing her wrong. She might have been even stronger than I thought. You don't know. And there is no way of knowing. I'm actually dying. Yeah, my throat's gonna give out any minute now. See, the funny thing is about this sort of streaming is that I'm not the kind of person to shut up. Like, if no one's talking, I'll be talking. Which is kind of a problem. Because normally in a conversation, other people start to talk, so you shut up and listen, you take a break. But I've been going now for like an hour. Nearly an hour. Holy crap, I just checked that. And my throat, it's not happy right now. Because I need to get myself a drink. Because I run out. In fact, I might take like a quick 1-minute break to go run downstairs. So I don't know why I say it like that. You don't know what my like layout of my house to go run into my kitchen and grab myself a drink or something after this, because I'm gonna die. And I think after all of this, I've only made it to what, like 12% extra experience towards my next level. It's not a lot. It's not a lot at all. One thing though, you can pretty much always kind of decide when it comes to tier lists. Not just strength, but farming, AoEs, and how many that like a certain character might have. That's always pretty obvious. And lilies are still kind of blah when it comes to farming. Like, I can think of many characters that are way better at farming. Like, Haru is still ridiculous. Like, her blade waves are still ridiculous. Can clear out entire corridors and waves of enemies in one. Lily's kind of still, she's all circles. Everything's like a circle. See, circles. Circles, everything's in like a circle around her. So you're kind of just dashing around. I mean, a lot of other characters, they have lots of like straight lines, sorts of like, and cones. So they can clear out mobs a lot faster. Holy crap. To be fair, when it comes to Black Desert these days, the only thing that like there's a real kind of learning curve on that you can make mistakes with is the PvP, and they change that so often that like it got to the point where I'm like, why bother learning it? Because by the time I get good and I really like I feel pretty decent, they're gonna change it again and like pull the carpet out from underneath me, and it's gonna suck. Wait, what? Did I earn something? Crappy achievement. So I got demotivated and I thought, what's the point? What's the point? In fact, what's purple means? Purple guild? There's a purple dot over there. Oh my god. It is! I bet they're not even, I bet they're just AFK. Or I'm gonna message in Discord in like 5 minutes saying like, hi! Because I don't know why, we never actually use our guild chat, we just kind of stick to the Discord. It just kind of devolved into there. Wait, stage glitched? I don't think so, right? It shouldn't have been. No, I'm checking the experience, everything's still fine. Like, ever since they removed, well, I said we removed the level cap, they changed the cap to 60. I've had the experience turned on just because I kind of want to see the way everything kind of squares up to itself, or each other rather. Blech. And anything from the rookie raids gives around 10,000 base experience. These guys give around 11,000 to 14,000, and there's on average a lot more of them. Plus, it's easier. These guys are so weak. Compared to the enemies in the rookie raids, these guys are pathetic. Like, they're really pathetic. You can kill them in like 2 hits. Although, they actually do quite a lot of damage if you let them. But either way, it's still kind of a slaughter. And I've got a lot of progression to get anyway. I don't really see the big deal in progression in this area. Like, you get a lot of, I mean, you get a lot of cards. Where's the card screen? Way down here. Yeah, 10%. I've done 10%. And you get 20 cards, a skill reset, and an entire freaking skill tree reset. Which I don't know why you'll need another one. But no, the experience is actually still fine. In fact, I'll look at it right now. I'm at 558,000. Do I have like a big skill I can use? I got like 500,000 experience from that one skill. Then another 400,000 from that one. 300,000 from that one. It's going down as I'm killing everything. But basically just from this room I've already gained like over 1 million experience. And considering I need 489 million experience, that's a lot of rooms. And not every single room is as populated as that one. And as small as that one. Which, it sucks, but this is still technically like the best place in the game to get experience. Outside of like doing the junk hive and just... There is an experience farm in the junk hive on the elemental where you let the enemies destroy 3 of the generators and keep the 4th one alive. So that way the first section extends and the enemies just keep on spawning and they keep on spawning, but it's kinda tedious and there aren't any quests for it. Like any kind of daily bonuses. So even though it's technically faster, it's a lot more effort. You pretty much do need 4 people for that. Because otherwise you'll get overwhelmed and the 4th generator gets destroyed and you still get the experience from being in the level, but it just kind of ruins the run. It ruins kind of the atmosphere. If you just kind of suck and die constantly. Oh, right, I forgot. More enemies. Whoops. I forgot about them. The dash is huge. When do we ever need a dash that large? I say that, you probably will, I just don't realize it yet. Maybe in Primal. Oh wait, crap, wrong button. That was so satisfying. Oh, whoops. Get rid of that. It's fine. In fact, I'm gonna take the fastest run downstairs that I can. I keep saying downstairs, run to the kitchen. Down the stairs to the kitchen. That I can during the loading screen to get myself another drink because I'm dying. I'll be back in a minute. Right now, enjoy the rainbow. Wait. The rainbow. I made it myself. I maybe spilled my drink all on the floor, but that's fine. I'll deal with that. Whew. Let me see. My gear is so terrible. So I think overall, I've actually been thinking about it a little bit. My plan for what I'm gonna... Oh my god, screw it. My plan for what I'm gonna do overall is level to 60 very slowly. I'm probably gonna finish off my soul stones, grind out the progression for the Golden Citadel, maybe help some people, like help some of my friends out while I can. If I get really strong and good at doing it, I can carry a little bit in there. And then, finally, I can get going with Primal once I'm rich and maxed out. Because right now I feel kinda weak for it. And I do know that Primal has a crap ton of like elemental resistances. So the stones aren't going to help that much with him, but like I've still got what, like 40 Golden Citadel runs to do. That's going to give me a lot of extra money. Oh my god. Gear is terrible. Everything is terrible. But I've been asked about this before, in case anyone was interested. Wait, the rainbow behind me, which is actually, it's kinda crazy. It actually extends all the way down to the floor. That's actually where it's resting now. It's a huge frame. It's basically a giant sound panel, because my room is very echoey. And that's the biggest wall behind me. So I made a huge sound panel with a little bit of help. Because it's not a one-person job making one that big. Like, they were meant to be smaller, but like the tie-dye material that I have on the front of it, which is one of my favorite things. Like, I saw the original material was just regular white. People were just kind of sticking different colors into the walls, like whatever, make it pretty. But I said to myself, hey, why can't we just tie-dye this? Make it look really cool. But the original tie-dye I did with the material, it ended up looking so cool that I was like, there's no way I'm cutting this up and putting this on a small panel. I'm gonna make a really big one. One that's so big, I can't even fit it on the wall properly. Which kind of defeats the point. So, but hell, like, look at this. It's one of the coolest things I've ever made. And it's kind of heavy. But it didn't actually cost that much, and it took up way more time than it needed to because I kept procrastinating on finishing it. Like, I think it was kind of waiting to be finished for about, like, 6-7 months. Whoops. No, wait, was it longer than that? No, it was about 6-7 months it took me to finish it. And, like, I started it with one person and finished it with another. Because, like, I needed someone there to motivate me to finish it, but the acoustics of it are actually pretty damn decent. Like, I've done some tests with and without in my room. Like, where I do everything, pretty much. I really shouldn't. And it does help a lot. Because, let's face it, my setup is not the best. I don't really have, like, my own private recording room, or any this or that. And, like, why the hell should I? It's not like these things are decent, I just do this for fun. Plus, YouTube took away all my money! So, yeah, the whole, like, the apocalypse hit me, and then the YouTube subscription, whatever, monetization changes hit me. So, like, I can't even afford to make another one of these. Because it's cheap, but it's not that cheap. And to be fair, I'm not sure if I'd do it tie-dye again, because, like, tie-dyeing a t-shirt or something small like that, it's fine. It's kind of just a regular cotton material. It takes like maybe leave it to dry for maybe like 2 or 3 days. This thing, designed to soak up liquid, this kind of material, tie-dyeing something like that huge, like I had to leave it for like a week. Like lifting it after I'd finished like dyeing it. Oh. Like, sure, you can just kind of, like, whatever, lift it, throw it around, whatever, leave it to dry. But with that many colours and that much dye, with the weight of it, wouldn't have gone that great. I've gone really off tangent. But I don't know, that, like, making that thing excited me. I'm not the kind of person to make things. I usually just destroy everything I touch. So I'm proud of it. And it's actually something constructive, not just random crap to look at. It has a purpose. Unlike me. What the friggin' hell, camera controls? I'm still so far off leveling. And I'm already out of daily quest to do. Pretty much. One thing I haven't been doing is I haven't been using this card. Which is kind of a shame, because this thing is really strong. I don't know, my reasoning for why I made it tie-dye was if I'm gonna stick something huge and kind of flat on the wall, I'm gonna make it pretty. And what's the prettiest thing I can think of? It's rainbows! Yeah, that's my reasoning. Don't fuck with me. 65%. This is gonna take me forever. But if it wasn't for the weekend giving us half energy usage, energy reduction, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it, like I'd probably already be out of energy. That would suck. Let me see, the quest gives... Wait, what was that? Like 55%? No, 0.55% towards my next level. Like just over 0.5%. So how many quests is that? Like, let me see, 180 or something I'll have to do? Wait, 178 maybe? Obviously that's not including dungeon experience, but that's a ton. What? What even hit me? Did they just... Oh, wait. Did they just cancel my card? Oh, yeah, it's bugged now. It's really bugged. Nothing happens. And it makes a different sound every time. Wow, okay. Fuck. That's not gonna reset until the next area, I bet. One thing I'm actually looking forward to about Primal is that I'm more used to that sort of like single giant boss raid, even though there are multiple phases to it. Like, I'm just more used to those sorts of raids from other games. Golden Citadel is more like a boss crawler. It reminds me of the armies dungeons from Closers. They've got pretty much the exact same thing, but just a lot easier. Plus, the elemental version is like... The only reason it's not difficult is because the health of the bosses isn't that high. They do hit extremely hard, in our server at least. Like, I've heard in the Western servers, the enemies do hit harder, but over in there, even with like the best gear in the game, you can still get like murdered in like 2 or 3 hits. Or to be fair, if you modify yourself so like everything is like defense oriented, like you've got HP stats and everything, you can probably survive for like forever. But with the offensive stats, like kind of the meta is, because let's face it, why go tank? Who goes tank in a game like this? You can get just murdered. Like gear like mine, 2-shot, even 1-shot by some bosses, and that sucks. It's not fun. Whereas Primal, I'm guessing it's probably, I don't know. The damage reduction you get from the Orith gear, I'm looking forward to having, at least, so you don't get 1-shot. But it's going to be a while until I have anything like that. See, I say that factoring in the fact that I am very, not lazy. Yes, I am lazy. I procrastinate a lot. Like, you want to know how long I was like Google deep diving for before I started the stream? Like, I was ready to stream, like, 2 hours before, but then I got lost on YouTube. Like, knowing very well that everything was set up to go and I had all my pages open, like, I just kinda got lost. Don't know why. I think I got nervous. Yeah, but so far I've only died in the Golden Citadel one time, which, that was the one shot. That sucked. But I haven't actually done that many runs of it. Well, that's not including the runs where, like, I'm in there with a party of 4, and all 3 of them just die and leave me alone, and I'm like, guys, what the fuck? Because let's face it, those runs kinda suck. I don't even know why I'm attacking that thing. I just like the way my skills look. 90%. Did I just... Yeah, I just used Soul Force by accident. Oh well. I don't think I've talked this much in, like, forever. See, the first time in my life that I ever had to, like, talk to and entertain people was I was an ice skating coach for a few years before I kind of picked up my training. I put it aside and started training again myself. But during that few years, like, sure, I did all the private coaching was fine. When you're just one-on-one with somebody, that's no problem. But when you've got a class of about 14 kids, and you have to kind of... Some of them, like, they can't wait to be there. They're running around like crazy. Well, I say running around. They're kind of, like, bouncing around. They can't really stand still. They just want to get up and go. Like, those are fine. Like, trying to control that, but at the same time... help the ones that are... Why am I auto-teaming? Help the ones that are on the side, like, clinging on for, like, dear life. Like, they look like they're about to die. Trying to keep everyone entertained and, like, calm at the same time. Yeah, not that great. I used to just kind of go into kind of overdrive when I took those sorts of classes. And then you sit down after the 2 hours, when you're finally done with all the different classes, and you just fall asleep at, like, midday because you are so exhausted. And the weird thing is that's the first and only time I've ever had to really talk to people, aside from streaming. So now, when I am talking to people, even though I'm doing something completely different, like, my brain still says, ooh, entertain them, quick! And it kind of goes onto, like, overdrive mode, and I burn myself out from talking too much. Like, I'm not used to being calm. I'm used to having 14 kids have their lives depend on me. And then all the parents are there watching you. It's a lot of pressure. And you don't really get used to that much pressure. Not when your financial future depends on it. Yeah, so now anytime I have anyone kind of depend on me for any sort of, like, entertainment for even a little while, I kind of go into this survival mode and get a bit crazy, which is pretty much my streams in a nutshell. That's a fun fact. The weird thing is, even though I don't do it anymore, I kind of miss it. Yeah, I bet if I went back, like, I'd have all the kids stare at me, and then I'd instantly be like, okay, get me out of here. I don't want to do this anymore. I remember why I quit. I think the worst part, what made it so bad, is that, like, I was never... Oh, friggin', I forgot about these guys. I was never around any sorts of kids. like, as a teenager, like, as a young adult. I think my first encounter with someone, like, younger than me, like, that young, like, a kid when I was already, like, a teenager, probably about, like, age 19, 20. That's weird, right? Like, most people have some kind of younger sibling or younger cousin or, like, something like that when they're growing up, so they get used to kind of entertaining kids. Not me. I kind of looked at a kid and was like, well, you hungry? I don't know what to do. Like, they just kind of stare at you, like, expecting you to be entertaining. Because all the adults I know, they kind of just know what to do around kids. Like, they make sorts of, like, stupid voices and stupid faces, and they know how to talk to them. Like, I didn't. I just kind of stared at them and was like, what do you want? What should I do? Like, I'm fine now, but it was weird. That's like survival mode 2.0. Like, survival from what? I don't know. Kids are terrifying. See, this is how I go on a massive tangent when I'm talking. Because, let's face it, leveling up and grinding this kind of dungeon, it's not that fun, and you need something to talk about. I don't know, give me a subject. And I'll go on a massive rant about it, and then go off and go on tangent and just talk shit for a little bit. I'm kind of having a break from talking about Lily right now, after that, like, 30-minute explanation of her skills before at the start. I'm sick of talking about Lily. Sick of it. Pardon me. Here's something we can talk about, though. The skin, like the exclusive advancement skin, the one you get from the quest is limited. Like, I think it lasts for a week. Where is it? Here it is. Yeah, it lasts for a week until after you, like, from when you got it. I think. Wait, does it? What date's the first? No, it lasts for 6 days. 5 days? 6? That's awkward. It's like an awkward number of days. And there's no way at the moment to get another one, to get a permanent one. Like, the rest of the outfit is permanent. Like, every Lily everywhere is running around with this permanent advancement outfit now. But the weapon expires, and you can't get another one. You can't do any sort of quest to get it. You can't collect any materials to make one. You can't even buy one in the premium shop. In fact, I'll go over to the crafter and see. Like, I've checked around everywhere. Nope. There's no way at all. And it's really kind of awkward. See, I bet... No, oh, for a second there, I thought I found it. I thought that was going to be it. No, you can make the hallowed scythe, but that's it. There's a lot of fashion items here. In fact, I'm pretty sure I've got, like, most of these. Not made, but I can make them. It's just unfortunate, because the scythe, I think, is my favorite part of it. Like, it looks so cool. Every other scythe you get in this game is kind of crappy. In fact, the one that I've had on before, the hallowed scythe, yeah, it's kind of crap and boring. I don't know, but it's a skin anyway. And the original, it's tiny. Like, it doesn't really look that good. It's just a tiny little scythe. Meanwhile, the advancement one, it's fucking huge. Like, it starts off on her right side, and the blade goes all the way over to her left. Like, it's just huge. I love it. And the fact that I'm going to lose it in like 2 or 3 days, maybe even forever, that sucks. Ow. wasn't all clear. I used the hands way too early. Also, the fact that each of these like episodes, they just all look the same. Like some of them are shorter, some of them are longer, yeah, but they all take place in the exact same map areas. Maybe like one difference. That's the. It's getting old when we only have like 2 areas in the final grass cover camp section. Like, we're still missing, like, a huge chunk of the storyline. Which I admit I was expecting to get, but we're probably going to get it with the Irwin advancement, which should be out in, like... See, I want to say, like, a month, maybe 6 weeks, but I know it's probably going to be, like, 2 months at this point. Like, I really, really want to believe the only reason Lily's was, like, delayed for so long was because of all the revamps, and they were waiting for that perfect moment so they could like bring her up to date at the same time. But I don't know. I think it's being too optimistic. They might just all take like 2 months or 10 weeks. I hope not. Like, if they take that long, the game's gonna die. See, the trouble is with, like, any sort of game, when it gets brought over to the West, and it's slightly behind, like, people wouldn't really care if the content didn't exist, but when it does exist, they get really impatient really fast. Like, the Korean players might have been waiting for something for about 18 months to be made, and that's fine. But then, as soon as it exists, everyone wants it, no matter what. Like, tell the players in the West there might be a 6-month wait, and they go crazy. Even though that's nothing compared to the original, like, 18 months or something, like, they still go ballistic, and they say it's too slow, they're gonna quit. Like, it sucks. Like, it's a bit difficult. We're just really impatient. And there's always the argument of, they have it, why can't we have it? It's like, well, they waited for quite a long time. We can wait too. I'm still talking shit. And I'm all out of quests, nearly. Nearly all out of quests. I'm only at 70%. Oh. Yeah, I believe the order is Haru, Lily, Irwin, Stella, Jin, and Iris. Wait, let me check this. Oh, you need to. No, wait, yeah, I remember. That's the order they originally came out in. Obviously, Jin and Iris they're going to be in the order anyway, because that's the order the characters came out in anyway. Like, that's obvious, but... that's the original order the advancements came out in Korea. And that's probably the order we're going to get them in. Sorry if that's disappointing. Like, I would actually go ahead and find the original, what's it called? The Lion Games channel where it has all this sort of things and it like debuts all the new content for their games. Like, you'll be able to see on there, I believe it's Irwin's came out like a month before Stella's. I believe. I might be wrong. I'm probably wrong. But I remember looking through them all quite a while ago. I think it's when Iris's came out. I got a link to their YouTube channel and I was like, ooh, let's look at everything. But to be fair, if it is Irwin next, which it should be, I think, I always doubt myself. I think I'm actually kind of looking forward to that more. Because let's face it, everyone loves Stellar players, everyone loves a support, even though she causes a shit ton more damage as well. I have a lot of Irwin friends that have left the game because they're waiting for their advancement, and it would be kind of nice to have them back. Oh my god. Oh yeah, this is why I hate this episode. He has that weird silencer thing. Yeah, but then like I'm sure there's a way that you can... There we go, you just kind of move to the side there, and you can use everything again. That boss was so annoying to defeat until I figured that out. Hey, level 4 progression. No, I start from 0% again. Last level to go. Kill me, please, someone. Wait, what the hell? My chat moved. I had no idea that my chat box moved so much. I put it... There we go. I don't know why it moved. I hope that wasn't blocking the actual chat on the stream. Wait... This is all this skill is good for. Moving really fast. Okay, 71%. And I... do I not have any quest to complete? No, it's a 2-part quest. So you have to do it twice to finish it once. Here we go again. I hate this place. I've done it so much. But the minute I start saying things like that and getting negative, it's gonna get worse. I can just cheat, right? Do it. Yes. One survivor. And now everything's gonna be stunned around the fountain so they can't move towards me. That wasn't smart, and neither was pressing the wrong button there. You get a tornado, and you get a kind of tornado. I didn't even kill it. And then I end up running around anyway. What does make me kind of sad is if I think about all the progression that I've like farmed when the level cap was still 55, like all the experience that I've wasted. I could have been 60 like ages ago. But I'm still stuck at 58 right now. Stupid freaking camera. To be fair, I think there's actually more enemies in this episode than there are in the one afterwards. Yeah, there we go, quest complete. Let me see. If I started at what, like 55%? No, I started at 50%. I am at 71% now. Like, if I wanted to get to level 59 in one session. I'm not even halfway there yet. And I've already finished all my quests. I'm not gonna make it. I'm just not. I accept that. And also, I didn't even gain a single 1% in progression then. Excuse me while I die. I'm actually just trying to find the will to live right now. Okay, to be fair, that quest gives a lot of experience. I think I might carry on completing that one. Especially since the dungeon gives quite a lot as well. And yet the quest is called It's Not Worth It. I'm really trying here. Can you not demotivate me? Demotivate? Oh, whatever. I'm not even going to correct myself. Let's face it, I can't speak English. And this is one hell of a grind train right now. And whenever I go to town, I keep just getting glimpses in the chat. Glimpses of, rather, of people, like, being weeby. Really weeby. No, I don't know. Like talking about how cute their characters are and how pretty their skirt is. Meanwhile, I'm just like trying to survive the grind. Oh crap, I meant to get rid of some of my... Oh, whatever. Goodbye items, I'm leaving you on the ground. This is probably a really bad time, but I'm just thinking, is there anything I missed in the, like... Nope, I got everything in terms of the skills. That's fine. Let me see, 11 bars. Let's see what this does. Without my buff. Eh. That does just as much. Oh crap. Oh! I just thought of something to cheer myself up. Which... people might hate me for doing. That was weird lag. You know what? Never mind. I've only got 120 pumpkins. I thought I had more. Never mind. I was gonna go spend them. But only 120, there's no point really. I'll just save them up for a little bit more. A little bit longer, rather. Ooh. Code spell closed beta. If it wait, is it still PvP only? That's the thing. Because PvP only, it gets kind of boring after a little while because you just know how horrifically broken everything's gonna be. That's right. I've got to complete that twice. Like, if it has any sort of PvE, I will download it. I will play it, and I might kind of fanboy about it. Depends how good it is. Well, then again, closed, obviously. It's going to be closed. You probably don't need a key. But if it does have any sort of PvE, I will definitely look into it. Because just PvP gets boring. Not a big fan of those sorts of games. And you know what? I bet saying that now, it's going to turn out it's only ever going to have PvP in it. I don't know. Come on, gather around. Move your stupid friggin' lazy. One thing survived. I meant to dismantle my items again, didn't I? I forgot again. Oh, whatever. Oh wait, wrong direction. Camera switched around. Done. Okay, so this time around, I've got to remember, dismantle my stuff. And pick up my pumpkin. Yeah, I don't think there's any way in hell I'm going to level today. Let me see, get rid of something blue. Or something gold, orange, whatever you want to call it. I always call it orange. Yellow, whatever. It's a colour. I'm going the wrong way, aren't I? Run, run, run. As long as like a game has PvE, I'll go for it. Because even though I have branched out a bit more into like PvP only sorts of games lately, over the last like year and a half, 2 years, like, I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm not that good at them. I'm not like a normal person. Like, I swear I'm like slightly autistic or something. I just don't understand people. I'm also slightly sociopathic. That's great. Yeah, but I don't understand people as well as most people do. I just don't have that kind of understanding. So trying to get in someone's head to figure them out when you're playing against them, that's normally how you beat them. You try and outplay them, so to speak. And I can't do that because I'm just not a very... Oh, I suck at it, basically. So I tend to just suck at those sorts of PvP games. So I kind of stay clear from them a little bit. Because it sucks to suck. And it's not fun to just get beaten constantly. Wait, why am I doing it the old-fashioned way? We have this now. I just wish it had the option for the rares, like yellow, gold, orange rares, whatever the hell you want to call them. Because you have to go through manually afterwards and select them all over again. That's fine. I'm gaining like 2.5% for every 2 dungeons I do. It's killing me! Let's do some Googling in the background. Code spell, free anime action MMO. And the website tells me I'm using adblock. Yes I am. In fact, one thing I haven't actually looked at Codespell is the publisher. In fact, no, the developers and the publishers. Developer studios are always kind of obscure, like usually you've never heard of them before. It's like probably the first game they've ever done. But publishers are always much more common, there's far fewer of them. And there's a few big ones that seem to grab everything. And depending on the publisher you get, it kind of also, I don't know, it affects a lot of different things. Like, some publishers have really good customer service and that's it. Others have, like, really good marketing, but then shit everything else. Like, usually they all excel at one thing and then they're crap at everything else. So, the auto dismantle, it just selects 10 things in your inventory below the rank, well, at or below the rank that you specify. So you can only do it with the regular kind of grey whatever, the green, and the blues. So if you select to auto dismantle at the blue rank, it'll just randomly select any 10 items in your inventory at blue rank or below. Which is kind of great for clearing out trash. Or you can do it at like green rank or below, or grey rank and below. So you can kind of clear out all the trash really quickly. But just make sure you haven't got anything in your inventory that's like valuable that you want to keep at that rank. Just because I haven't got anything, I'm not bothered, so I can abuse it every single day. The only thing I used to have was like legendary rank anyway, unique rank, which can't be auto dismantled, so that's fine with me. Because it won't even get selected. Let me see. Codespell. Makers of Elsword and Grench. Oh, who are... Oh, what's the name of them? Crap. Who made Elsword? I can't remember. KOG. That's the one. Okay. So... I don't know how I feel about them branching out into something 3D like that. Like, there's no way of really telling how it's gonna go. To be fair, they did a decent job with Elsword. Like, things were unique, and they still kept adding things, like, year after year after year. And I've never played Grand Chase, to be fair. So I don't even know about that. Let me see, who is publishing it, though? Wait, is it focused on PvP? Published by... KOG. Yeah, they're publishing it themselves. No idea about the West, though. Oh, whoops. Focused on PvP interactions. Oh, Low scale PvE. Still, I'll need to give it a look. But, like, what would you even class as low scale? Like, seems kind of weird. To be fair, I think... Wait, I'm trying to think now before I say something stupid. Also, I'm running to the wrong place. One of my favorite changes so far... well, there's been a lot of quality of life changes in SoulWorker in the latest update. One of my favorites, outside of like character rebalancing and character revamps, well, there's the helicopters in District 6 being so much faster now. They're actually usable. Like before, you just may as well just run anyway. That's amazing. The auto dismantling, really cool. But my favorite, since this one actually affects combat, is that the cards, the active skills on them, you can use them so much faster. There, done, already used. And I can move around again. Like before, you used to get locked in animation, and it sucked. But they're so much faster now. So much faster. I'm just gonna keep repeating that. Because that's pretty much it. I need to, like... My vocabulary isn't very great. So I need to kind of stress how good this is. Without using the same words all the time. But yeah, it's faster. Really fast. Like, usably fast. Like, you can use it in a lot more situations. Whereas before, you used to kind of just... You had a very small window to use a card before you would just get pounced on and probably one-shot. Like, there are a lot more windows now. You can kind of use them whenever the hell you want and not have to worry about being one-shot. Well, not at all, but you don't have to worry about being one-shot as much. I'll show it again in the next area as soon as the cooldown's done. Because I haven't been using Plastica in these areas because there's no real need for that much kind of boss killing strength. Because the bosses here are pushovers. Yeah, so used, done. So fast. I know that Stella did get some changes this time around, but I don't know what they are. I can actually, someone did list them in a thread on the forums. Let me have a quick check to see if I can find this again. Well, they listed most of them. Everything, like all the other changes from the other servers. But let me see. Yeah, here we go. So I just need to look through this list and see if I can find any Stella changes. Stella did get a few changes though. Well, she might have. I can't really confirm. Because all of the changes from the other servers were listed, but we don't know which ones we got. Let me see. World Dance, attack range increase, damage increases, a few. Let me see. Oh, I can't seem to find it. Let me have a quick check. So a lot of her things can be cancelled with a dodge now. Whereas before they couldn't. And a lot of the... Let me see. Some of her big skills, like with large percentages, they turned into skills with smaller percentages but multi-hits. I don't exactly know much about that. But she did get a lot of quality of life changes, mostly being able to like cancel her skills with dodges. I don't really know about being able to like stance change if you're moving, although I'm pretty sure that you couldn't before. I'm pretty sure it was really annoying. So if you can now, then that's amazing. But I haven't actually played Stella since the revamps. Let me have a quick check. Oh god, it's a big link. I'm gonna put it through a shortener. Whoopsies. It's a really big link. Bear with me. Ta-da! There, on the forum thread there, someone posted pretty much every single change that's in the other servers. So it was up to us to kind of figure out which ones we got. The original poster they posted them in chronological order. So the oldest changes are at the top and the newest are at the bottom. I don't actually know, like, I think we got every single Lily change that's on there. So anything above the Lily changes, we have. But the last two things below, I have no idea about. It's up to the players to figure it out, because we didn't really get any patch notes. Well, I believe the patch notes that were sent over from Lion Games were posted. Well, they were translated and posted. But the actual changes... no, they just didn't send them. They didn't actually send the publishers the details. I forgot who publishes this thing again. Crap, who publishes SoulWorker in the West? I forgot. Gameforge? Yeah. You'll most often find that a lack of patch notes isn't actually down to the publisher. It's down to the developer just not bothering to send any through. Or only sending something like incomplete. Kinda like when the rookie raids were revamped, and we didn't get any patch notes for it. Yeah, it turns out that even the Gameforge employees had no idea. Like, they tested out the patch, they tested that everything worked that was sent over, that the developers told them was going to be changed, and then the game went live and the players started to play and they went like, huh, what? And yeah, the Gameforge employees had absolutely no idea that there was any sort of, like, change planned for the raids. So I bet they probably sent a lot of messages to developers like, guys, can you let us know next time? Yeah, I don't know how exactly it went down, but I bet it was something like that. Because Korean devs are always... They're kind of infamous for just not bothering to give the full details of a patch they send over to the West. My throat's giving out. Shit. Okay, right, one more. I'm over the halfway point, though. At least. Just over the halfway. You know what? To be fair, I think we did get everything in that forum page. Yeah, because one of the last changes was to Haru's kind of buff skill. That it give her a... I don't know how it works. It should have been just a flat damage increase for 20 seconds on everything, but I've seen people say different things in the forums, but the way that they've said it in the forums makes it sound like they just haven't actually bothered to change and they're just guessing, but they just think they're right. So I don't know the way it works until I've tested it out for myself. It should just be a flat damage increase. And I had a look at in the game before this morning. It is there, but like I haven't actually done any testing on it. I don't think my skills leveled up high enough for testing to be conclusive. Well, not without like a shit ton of testing, and I haven't got time for that. I'm not going to level in the stream. I'm going to die before I level. I think I would have been fine if I didn't run out of daily quests to do in this area. Which kind of sucks. It's a shame. Oh, everything's dead already. Dead. Okay, dead. Great. I'm actually slowly falling off my chair. I don't think I have the energy to sit up straight anymore. To be fair, like, if I had other things to do, I'd probably be like, now's a good time to take a break or something. Like, do something else for a little while. But I haven't got anything else to do. I've been in, like, long story, not gonna get into it. I've been in physio now for about like 2 months, and like when I'm not sitting in this chair, I'm pretty much just sitting in a chair, another chair. So like, what is there for me to do other than just game? Like, I would pretty much just, I would turn everything off, I would sigh, I'd open up YouTube and get lost in another deep dive and then go play another game for a little while. Like, what's the difference? I think the only difference is that I won't be talking to basically myself the entire time. Wait, did I get a quest for that? Or did I? Is it? I can just check. Nope, I'm all done. All quests are done. Which... I'm gonna go check out the experience in the first area here and see if this is half decent, because it does have some quests. Some of these have 2 quests. That's decent. Such a more depressing place, actually. Such a more depressing... That's... I forgot to speak English. Well, let's face it, I don't actually know how to speak English. I'm a native, but I have no idea what I'm doing. To be fair though, the change of scenery in this new place is actually quite nice. hate these guys. I hate artillery. Is that all of them? Yeah. I thought that was an enemy up there then for a second. Like glitched, but nope, it's just a corpse. And it's a human corpse. Lovely. So many enemies. So little experience. Yeah, I think this place only gives about 10,000. It's a good, like, 20% less average experience than any other dungeon. Although it's way easier. Why did I just randomly bounce into the air? What the hell? Is that it? I think that was. One more. One more. And then I think I'm gonna take a break from maybe sitting still. Maybe I could just get up and walk for a little bit. My legs, this is not good for me. Huh. That was fast. %. 80%. Urgh. Done. It's done. Buff's gonna run out. Did I miss? No, I didn't. Okay. What? You know what? Hands off. It's fine. Oh, I'm all out of inventory space again. Why is everything in this area like of shame or madness? Brutal? More madness. Crumbling illusion, wow. Unlucky start. Why is everything depressing? In fact, that's fine. Not everything's depressing, some of them are just kind of neutral. Revenge of the Damned. Okay, yeah. Reproach of the Damned. Everything is depressing or of the damned. I don't make these translations. I don't endorse them. Oh shit. Goodbye, unlucky star. Okay, 81%. I think I'm gonna call it quits for now, because I've done so much grinding. And I'm exhausted, honestly. In fact, really quickly, auto-dismantle some things. Just because... Wait, no, you're not the dismantler. Neither are you. She's over there. Never mind. I forgot. Whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and take a break from whatever the hell I'm doing right now. I don't really know. Yeah, if you're ever stuck, if you have any problems with accounts or such, let me see, I'll send, where is the link to it? Damn it, I used to have the link to their customer service. Damn it, I used to have the link for this. Well, I lost the link to customer service. I was going to find that really quickly, send it to you. You see, I can find this again though quickly. There we go. Usually, if you log in on the link that I sent in the Twitch chat, you can find out anything about your account over there. Though, honestly, I have no idea why an account would get locked. There were some accidental locks a little while ago, when, like, they have to ban so many gold sellers and so many bots. Every now and then, a real person will get kind of thrown in by accident, and usually you just send a quick ticket and you can get it unlocked, it's no problem. Although, look, That's just if it was for that reason. Like, I have no idea what you've been doing with your account, why it might get locked. But, eh. You know what? Right before I go, actually, aside from that point, look at the backpack that I got. It's really cute. The only reason that I'm keeping it, normally I kind of just like my outfits kind of clean. The only reason I'm keeping it as an accessory is because it's so sleepy, just like me. And this Grutin is whatever they're called. It's just me, just asleep, hanging off of someone. I wish that could be my life. Some days it is. Yeah, but for now, I'm gonna take one hell of a break because I've been talking a whole lot about a whole lot of things. I think I spent like 30 minutes at the start just going over Lily's like revamped skills. My brain doesn't work. It's not working anymore. I spent so long grinding. Wait, how much more? I'm not good at math. What is that? 80? No, 90 something experience left to go. I can't even do math. Yeah, 93 million experience left to go. Tomorrow. Not today. I am tired. But for now, I want to say see you later. I will catch you again another time. Take care of yourselves. Better than I'm taking care of myself, please. Don't do as I do. And thanks for watching. Take care. Wait, where the hell's my other stuff? There it is. I'm gonna go lie down.